up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up.
Well, welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Klein Connect here, of course, along with head coach Scott Langer. Coach, showcase wraps up. You guys end up 1-3. Some very tight games. One that, in fact, went to overtime, and then, of course, the shootout that you ended up winning there. Some very positive things that can be taken away from a lot of those games, I would say, though. What do you as a staff take away that you liked, I guess, from those 4 games there in Blaine?
Well, I thought our compete was there as a whole. It's a very tough weekend to navigate. I mean, when you start playing 3-3 nights, then 4-4 nights, it gets pretty difficult, and your game gets, pretty sloppy. I think all teams go through that, but, I don't mind our compete level. Obviously, the other side of that is trying to find ways to win games, and I thought that we found ways to lose a few of those games. But, the positive there is that we had the ability to win each of those games, and if puck goes our way, a couple of them, it's a different story.
It's true. You're very much in the hunt, and in each of those games, there were 2, in fact, that it came down to last minute victories for, well, in the case of Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and then with Cooley Region, some very hard fought games, and again, it's some good things, but a little bit of trouble finishing perhaps, and it's something that you talked about during the week. But there's a lot of components and a lot of moving pieces. Especially when, not only obviously is the goal to win games, but you're also still evaluating talent and kind of seeing where people fit in too, aren't you?
Yeah, and that, not to make excuses, but that could be part of the issue is when you're carrying, we carry 28 players there, and, you don't really get a lot of continuity, and you're trying to get everybody involved because that's the right thing to do. But, now we're at a point where, we're going to start establishing our team and, doing a lot of learning, with our set numbers. So, yeah, it definitely was a time where you have to evaluate and try to win games, and we talked about that before. It's not easy to do, and that being said, we still had the ability to win each game, and we went the other way.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, very positive. Probably the biggest positive that can be taken away is that they were very competitive games. That the chance to win was there. A lot going on. We've talked about all the scouts. I think they said there were over 300 scouts that were at the showcase. A lot going on, different teams. There's U16s, U18 teams there. Did you guys get a chance to do any scouting, and not only of players, I suppose, but also did you get a chance to see any of the Central Division teams in action and maybe any impressions?
Yeah, when we brought 2 of our main scouts there, as well as Anthony and I, and we did quite a bit of scouting over the weekend. It's a good opportunity to see kids early, and there's so many there to see. You can't really miss that opportunity. We certainly put our eyes on the teams in this division, and I don't think there's any question this is going to be a pretty tough division. And we're in a position now that we're going to fight our way and crawl out of a little hole that we've put ourselves into. But there's going to be no easy nights with the teams that we've seen in this division. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, and historically the Central has been tough, and not going to be any different this year. Minot, of course, wins the showcase. They went 4-0, the only team that went undefeated there at the showcase, and a team that your Wings will be seeing this coming Friday and Saturday. We'll touch on that here coming up in just a bit. And we'll take a quick break here and hear from one of our sponsors, and when we return, more on Minot.
Let's make a taco. No, seriously. Start with a tortilla, soft tortilla, warm it, kiss it, don't kiss it. Chicken? How about tequila lime chicken? Now we're cooking. Slice this, peel that, snip those. Salsa? Verde. Cheese? Cotija. Oh, forgot to mention. Guac. That's better. See, anyone can make a taco, but we're not anyone. We're Qdoba, and these are knockout tacos. Qdoba Mexican Eats. Choose flavor.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Klein Connect here, along with head coach Scott Langer of your Aberdeen Wings. Wings go 1-3 at the showcase. Some very hard-fought games. Really, all of them, with the exception of the Amarillo Bulls. That one got a little out of hand as they scored 4 goals in the third. But otherwise, they're very close games. And one of the things the coach talked about, a positive that can be taken away is that they're all very winnable games. As before we went into the break, Coach, in that first segment, we talked a little bit about Minot and how well they did at the showcase. They've got a bunch of returning players. The Central Division is going to be tough, as we finished that first segment with. What do you know about Minot? How do you prepare for this Friday's matchup up there at the Mesa Ice Center?
Well, they're a pretty seasoned team. I mean, Coach Murray has done a real good job of keeping his players around for a second year, and when you have that many players, obviously you're a team that's going to be tough to beat, and Minot's put a good product on the ice, and as far as being prepared, we're gonna dissect what they do, and hopefully we are gonna have a game plan in place. But it comes down to, again, is the compete level, and you know what? We have good hockey players on this team, and we just have to put it together. And once we do put it together, it doesn't matter if you're playing 14 veterans or whatever it might be over there. We just got to play our game well. And right now, we know that we cannot afford mistakes. We have to play mistake-free hockey in order to salvage a win. We made that quite clear this past week.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that we talked about during the week, I guess it was after the Corpus Christi game. One of your messages was going to be, especially after that Saturday in Bismarck, that you got to play 60 minutes, and that these guys have got to, there's no giving up, and every game is winnable. And I think they proved that, against Corpus Christi, being able to fight back and go take it to an overtime, and then of course win it in the shootout. And I think that's a message I think that you guys are continuing to preach to them, because like you said, the compete's got to be there. Well, of course, as we mentioned, Minot this Friday and Saturday at the Mesa Ice Center. Puck drop at 7:35 both nights. You can catch that, of course, on 94.1 The Rock and FastHockey.com. And then we turn around and have another game against Minot for the home opener, October 7th here at the Odie Ice Center. That's a Friday night, and then on Saturday, Austin comes to town. So home game, guys can all look forward to coming out to the Odie and cheering on your Aberdeen Wings as they continue to basically see what this team, who it's all going to be. Because, as you talked about, that continuity and kind of gelling, when you have a team like Minot with that many returning players, they don't really have to worry about that as much. What is your timetable, I guess? What do you estimate? How long does it take for a locker room to really kind of gel?
Well, I mean, I think every team's different with how long, I've had teams that, brought back 6 players as well, and it took 10 to 12 games to kind of it all to start to click. It's tough to say. You can't really forecast that as a coach. But the light switch is going to go on, I'll tell you that. And you're going to see a difference in our hockey team. But, it's just, it comes down to leadership, and everybody is kind of going at their own pace on when they're going to snap into what a junior hockey player looks like. But again, we understand that with being a team of a lot of new players, but at the same time, we're going to compete and we're going to try to win hockey games. Yeah.
Well, and I imagine that, each individual player is a little bit different too, so it's difficult to tell. But it certainly doesn't help or make it any easier when you've got guys, that are joining the team that right there in the showcase. We had guys like Joey Strada and Gage Mackey that arrived from the USHL, and then Kyle Mayhew comes over from the BCHL. They haven't even skated with any of these other guys. They haven't even been in the Odie, haven't practiced or seen the weight room or anything, and they're thrown into the mix. So that creates challenges in its own right, doesn't it?
Oh, there's no question. Those guys, and I thought they did a pretty decent job, not really understanding our principles and our structure. But it gets tough. But those are guys that we've had our sights on in the recruiting process, and we couldn't really let them go because we still feel that they're going to be a big piece of this puzzle. But yeah, they have to step in, and they don't really know what's going on. But I think for the most part, they did a good job with that. And that's what we talk about is there's a lot of evaluation process during that tournament, and there's a lot of moving pieces, and once we kind of get settled in, it certainly is going to help things.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, well, once again, folks, game time 7:35 Friday and Saturday at the Mesa Ice Arena in Minot. Of course, you can catch that on 94.1 The Rock and on FastHockey.com. Then the home opener, October 7th, here at the Odie Ice Center, again against Minot. So we'll look forward to seeing you all there, and again, catch the Wings in action against the Minotauros this Friday and Saturday. That'll do it for this Wings Weekly.
Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. 'Cause we done this before.